Hi guys, my name is Yash. I'm a ECBA certified business analyst, and today we'll be continuing with our 89 question of our BA interview series. So let's begin. This is a follow-up question of our 87th question about the strategic thinking and the problem-solving approach I applied during my BDM experience at Hubcode IT Services. So I'll give you a brief summary overview of that. So in this project, this was a mobile application development project where the client pitched that the project was a bit expensive at start. We understood this problem, and that's why instead of just delving full on with the project, I decided to go with phased features, or you can say phased plans. So in the first phase, we decided to go with the MVP, the basic features, and in the second phase, we decided to go with advanced features and advanced UI. What this did is this actually reduced the budget since it was a phased approach, so the budget was reduced significantly. And the structured approach that was designed by having the workshops or meetings with the design and development teams made the client really trust us for this process since the plan was ready. Eventually we completed the phase 1 and now we dwelled into phase 2, and that's how I approached this project with a strategic thinking and a problem solving approach. So here the question is, what was your role in that project? So my role was to understand the client's constraints and help structure a practical delivery approach around them. I initiated the phase delivery idea, coordinated with internal teams for feature scoping and estimation, and helped prepare the solution preparation for the client. I also handled stakeholder discussions around timelines, priorities, and budget alignment to ensure the proposed roadmap was both feasible and valuable from a business perspective. So, as you can see, as a BDM, my role was to understand clients' constraints and help structure a practical delivery approach around them. I initiated the phase delivery idea, coordinated with internal teams for feature scoping and estimation, and helped prepare the solution presentation for the client. So as you can see, the phase delivery idea was initiated by me because of the client's budget problem. I understood and I decided and discussed with the delivery and design teams whether it's possible, and then because we came to a conclusion, I decided we go with the phase plan so that the client also gets an idea about how things are going to go, and also the budget is reduced significantly because of that, which gained the trust of the client. So like I coordinated with internal teams for feature scoping and estimation. Again, I coordinated with internal teams for feature scoping and estimation for the phased approach. And eventually I helped prepare the solution presentation for the client because it was very important for the client. As a BDM, you are in sales, so it is very important for you to not just sell to the client. It is to understand client needs, is to understand clients mindset. You know, it's to understand if the client is actually willing to do something, and is to understand if you can solve that problem, right? So client has a problem, you have to solve that problem, and that's how you become a very good salesperson or a BDM. So I also handled stakeholder discussions around timelines, priorities, and budget alignment to ensure the proposed roadmap was both feasible and valuable from a business perspective. So at the same time, I handled stakeholder discussions around timelines because it is very important to clearly mention the timelines that are, the time it's going to take for the project to be over, for because each phased approach has a certain timeline, and the budget alignment to ensure proposed roadmap was both feasible, it was feasible for client and for us, and valuable from a business perspective. And it was valuable from a business perspective because that's the core value of any BA or a BDM, that he has to focus on the core business perspective. He has to focus on the core value of business. That is super important because any client comes because they want their business to grow, right? So, our vision is not to sell to client our services. It's basically to understand the requirements the client has and make sure that we bring out a solution for every approach that we carry. Because at the end of the day, when you are having a conversation with the stakeholders, with the clients, it's very important for us to understand that it's not just about what we are doing, it's about a planned approach, a clear cut strategy that we are developing when we are developing a certain product. So a clear cut strategy and a clear cut plan helps the client to gain trust in us and eventually helps the company, right? So this is something which I have shared from my experience as BDM at Hubcode IT Services. There were many more experiences, but this is just one of it. So I hope you learned something from it. I hope you understand how you approach certain questions when it's about experience, because it's very important to mention exactly what happened. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something from it.